apology is an art form. It's a delicate situation to go about doing that. It needs to be done in the right manner, or else I suppose, you run the risk of the apology not being well received, and kind of that negates the entire idea behind apologizing. You're trying to make peace and whatnot. So yeah, there is a, you have to go about it in a very mature manner, and so one of the things is that when you apologize, it can't have ego in it, because when you're doing it, if you kind of, it's easy to go into like sort of a justification, be like, oh well, I was doing my, and then it's not really an apology anymore. So I have an example. So and I generally write written apologies, as just because I'm a writer, and it helps for me to articulate my thought in that way, so that I make sure, and just really make sure, because it's important. And so I wrote this poem once, and I'll read it right here. So it goes like this. If I could only take back all the things that caused you pain, so that you'd just remember sunshine in place of all the rain, I'd plant a garden full of flowers where each would bloom as you walked past, in recognition of how precious moments are which come to pass. For every flower knows that without roots nothing grows, and when they're young, what they go through sometimes is hard. But it's those seeds that sow what's above is so below, which determines how grow they far. Oh, what an honor it would be to bear witness to such display, as it overwrote old memories with ones pertaining to this day. And once you left this place, I'd hope it was enough to set you free from anything that has troubled you as a result of ... but knowing me. And so this was somebody that was very special in my life, and we parted ways, and it wasn't on the best terms, and it was it became clear over a period of time to me. At first, this person wanted an apology, and it's like, why should I apologize for just being a person, a human being that's growing up, that makes mistakes? Why should I have to apologize for that? I swear I was doing my best. I swore I gave it 100% and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I thought about it. I was like, this person is clearly indicating to me that they would like, or not indicating, asking, they wanted an apology for my part of what took place between the two of us. And it's like, I was very pig-headed about it. It's like, well, I didn't receive an apology, and so it's just like, it was tough. But I decided, you know what, no, I can be a bigger person here. I can take the mature route. I can be the bigger person. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And so I wrote a page of sorries, just saying, look, I'm sorry for this when I did that. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for this. And it was like a good page of, like 30, 40 things, just everything that I could recall, that it was just like, man, yeah, I didn't handle every situation in the most mature, respectable manner. And then it followed with the poem, and it was ill received. And yeah, and so that was a big thing, was just like, for me getting over myself and be like, you know what, if it means something to somebody else, I'm just going to do it based on that. It's not about right and wrong. It's just like, if there is an opportunity to make some peace, to help somebody with something, I will do it just based on that. There doesn't need to be anything else. And so, yeah, and I sent that, and it was, I got back hate. And it was just a huge, there was like all this misunderstanding, and just like nothing but anger back, and just like saying, and it was like I had to really understand why. And so like when I read the poem, so like this poem, it took me a significant portion of time to do it, just to come to a place where I was ready to do it, and then to do the stories, and then to write this. I thought that it was the most heartfelt poem that I had ever written, and because it was like about me putting myself aside and just saying, hey, I'm sorry, but without going into that thing. And so, but the problem with this poem is that it has ego in it, because it says in it, for every flower knows that without roots nothing grows, and when they're young what they go through sometimes is hard. So it's like it's going into a justification. It's like, well, that's just part of what it is to grow up, or that's what it is to have a long-term relationship when you're young and you're not have like the best tools in your toolbox for handling situations in a mature and respectable manner. And so I really had to dig deep down into understand, like, it's like, how did I go wrong when I put so much into it? And and this was my own development of coming into an understanding of the ego and how it operates and how subtle it is. Even in a big, huge apology, just a hint of ego was too much. It's like no matter what I said, it's like that was the thing that like it kind of made it all not even matter, because it was like almost like, even though I wasn't trying to get out of it, using those words is the equivalent of it. And so, things get lost in translation when it, say, like in a text message or whatever, or in a letter, because you don't hear my voice, the inflection, the enunciation, how I carry my message, and you can tell, so yeah, a big thing about learning how to apologize properly. And you know what? After a number of emails, I got it right. I was able to recognize what was going on, and I kept it short and sweet. And that's what I would recommend. Rather than a few pages or however you go about it, I said, you know what? I am sorry for how I handled things when we were together, and there might have been something else, but it was literally a couple sentences. Just, hey, I'm sorry. My behavior was out of line. These are facts. Of course you could justify or rationalize it away and lose the apology there. But yeah, and it was accepted at the end of the day. So that was a huge learning curve. And I was also involved in a bit of a drama that took place when I was living in the big city. And as a result of it, it was tough, because a group of friends and this and that, and then I took it upon myself. It was kind of right when COVID started, and I was like, you know what, all this stuff happened, it's like I don't feel good about it just, not addressing the issue head on. So I wrote personal letters to 6 people who, some of them were just friends that were kind of along for the ride. Some of them knew some of the other parties a little more intimately. And it was, no doubt a challenge. It was a thing that had to be dealt with. And it's like, I was a cause in that. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to take some responsibility for that. And so I sent out 6 letters. I spent days on every letter, on every individual letter, making sure, and this was after this learning experience with this other one. And so I was like, really reaching out. And I tell you, it was 50-50. half of the people said, hey man, thank you so much for reaching out. We know you, and but like, this means a lot, and that, it means a lot that you did that. And we also, we're aware of your kind of disposition or demeanor. It's just like, we know. And so it was great. It was very well received. And then some people said, this is not good enough. You're just trying to weasel out of actually apologizing in person. This is a cop-out. You're like a coward for trying to absolve yourself of this. You think you can just write a letter and that like excuses your behavior. Like, you're just such a piece of work. And I was like taken back once again. And, at the end of the day, I had to come to a place within myself that said, you know what? You can't cater to everybody. I can't know, you don't ask people ahead of time, how would you like me to apologize to you? How can I be the best apologizer so that I can make everybody happy? It is literally impossible, literally impossible as far as I'm concerned. So you just have to like do your best. And if people refuse your apology, take a good, long, hard look at it. Talk to some people about it. Get that second, third, fourth opinion. And at the end of the day, if you did everything that you could, you cannot control other people and how they're going to react to you doing your absolute best to make peace, to take responsibility, to be accountable, and whatnot. So, yeah, that is everything that I know as far as I'm concerned right now about how to apologize properly. Take it for what you will, with a grain of salt, I hope. Yeah. Peace.